Fiction is a solution, the best solution to the problem of existential solitude. Don't own so much clutter that you will be relieved to see your house catch fire.
Things don't happen for no reason. They happen to teach you something.
To leave, after all, was not the same as being left.
Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great.
Success is not how high you have climbed, but how you make a positive difference to the world. Even as a solid rock is unshaken by the wind, so are the wise unshaken by praise or blame. The beginning is the most important part of the work.
Never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience.
When you hold a grudge, you want someone else's sorrow to reflect your level of hurt, but the two rarely meet. What we like to think of ourselves and what we really are rarely have much in common. To see me does not necessarily mean to see my face. To understand my thoughts is to have seen me.
10 seconds. That's all it takes for life to throw you a curveball.
It takes too much energy to be against something unless it's really important. To be truly ignorant, be content with your own knowledge. I never ask a man what his business is, for it never interests me. What I ask him about are his thoughts and dreams. It is difficult, when faced with a situation you cannot control, to admit you can do nothing. You may be disappointed if you fail, but you are doomed if you don't try.
When your intentions are pure, so too will be your success.
Of life's two chief prizes, beauty and truth, I found the first in a loving heart and the second in a laborer's hand. Don't waste your time hating a failure. Failure is a greater teacher than success. Listen, learn, go on.
Birth is not the beginning. Death is not the end.
Courage is living by the free will that one creates for themselves, not the life of monotony determined by another. Take care of your costume, and your confidence will take care of itself. Future generations will remember me not for sitting on that chair, but for getting up when the time came. Accept what is, let go of what was, have faith in what will be. You are an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself. The essence of life does not consist in the lushness of your possession, but in the richness of your heart.
My destination is no longer a place, rather a new way of seeing.
I think I've discovered the secret of life. You just hang around until you get used to it. You define your own life. Don't let other people write your script. The elevator to success is out of order. You'll have to use the stairs, one step at a time. I don't know why we are here, but I'm pretty sure that it is not in order to enjoy ourselves.
The only real battle in life is between hanging on and letting go.
Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. I believe there is another world waiting for us. A better world. And I'll be waiting for you there. What you think you become, what you feel you attract, what you imagine you create. Sometimes you need a little crisis to get your adrenaline flowing and help you realize your potential.
Positive expectations are the mark of the superior personality.
Beauty is about being comfortable in your own skin. It's about knowing and accepting who you are. You have to rise above the squabbling and chaos and keep believing. You have to always keep your goals in mind. Small shifts in your thinking and small changes in your energy can lead to massive alterations of your end result. Despite its dark veins, the transparency of dragonflies' wings assures me of a pure, innocent world. Swords can win territories but not hearts. Forces can bend heads but not minds.
The only source of knowledge is experience. Too many people are too busy making a living to make a life.
Something deep inside calls us to adventure and to brave the unknown. There is a bit of wilderness within all of us. Create a vision for the life you really want and then work relentlessly towards making it a reality.
Ignorance is the night of the mind, but a night without moon or star. Being unconquerable lies with yourself. Being conquerable lies with your enemy.
Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. You've got to show the world who you are before it tells you. Otherwise, you become victim to someone you're not. Never apologize for showing feeling. When you do so, you apologize for the truth. Life is magical for those whose hearts are loving, minds are full with joy, and eyes that are dancing with beauty. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. The goal of education is to enable individuals to continue their education. To see what is right and not do it is the worst cowardice. If you can't feel gratitude when you are in need, the feeling of the need would never leave you, even if it is fulfilled. Comfort is no test of truth. Truth is often far from being comfortable. When life takes away, something of greater value is always given in return.
I can chase you, and I can catch you, but there is nothing I can do to make you mine. For we can only know that we know nothing, and a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. When a wise man points at the moon, the imbecile examines the finger.
Weak people revenge, strong people forgive, intelligent people ignore.
If you make a mistake and do not correct it, this is called a mistake.
Much of what was said did not matter, and that much of what mattered could not be said.
Life is a comedy to those who think, a tragedy to those who feel.
I'd found out that if you pushed people away hard enough, they tended to go. What one thinks is right is not always the same as what others think is right. No one can be always right. If your dreams are too hard to achieve, just achieve. Words don't have the power to hurt you unless that person meant more to you than you are willing to confess. If you're brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with a new hello.
A human being is part of a whole called by us the universe. You talk when you cease to be at peace with your thoughts. I knew it like destiny, and at the same time, I knew it as choice.
Life is essentially an endless series of problems. The solution to one problem is merely the creation of another. The clever combatant imposes his will on the enemy, but does not allow the enemy's will to be imposed on him. Stress is temporary, but the lessons you learn from it can last a lifetime. Live out of your imagination instead of out of your memory. You cannot change the direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sails to reach your destination.
When inequality takes root, a garden of problems flourishes.
Don't spend time beating on a wall, hoping to transform it into a door.
If you can feel the future, then you are about to experience it.
When no one you know tells the truth, you learn to see under the surface.
It is the privilege of the gods to want nothing, and of godlike men to want little.
Whatever happens to your body, your soul will survive, untouched. I believe in the fundamental truth of all great religions of the world.
I know the joy of fishes in the river. Through my own joy, as I go walking along the same river.
Accept yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your truths, and know what tools you have to fulfill your purpose.
Knowledge of the enemy's dispositions can only be obtained from other men.
When friendship is settled, you must trust. Before friendship is formed, you must pass judgment.
Always stand up for truth, regardless of who steps on it.
The path to success is to take massive, determined action. I woke up incredibly grateful today. I'm allowing myself to bask in this feeling. Perhaps it would be simpler if you just did what you're told and didn't try to understand things. The thunder comes before the flood. We all must bear the storm. I pray the good Creator's protection upon you all. If you don't know who you truly are, you'll never know what you really want.
Travel light, live light, spread the light, be the light.
The timing of your struggle depends on how resistant you are to your molding. Dream your dream and realize that you are more than just the dreamer. You are the point of origin for its reality. But memory is like plaster. Peel it back, and you just might find a completely different picture. Heaven wheels above you, displaying to you her eternal glories, and still your eyes are on the ground. Those who will not reason are bigots, those who cannot are fools, and those who dare not are slaves. When you are living the best version of yourself, you inspire others to live the best versions of themselves. And meanwhile, time goes about its immemorial work of making everyone look and feel like shit. I'm killing time while I wait for life to shower me with meaning and happiness. Argue for your limitations, and sure enough, they're yours.
Serious thinkers are few, and the waters roared by crude ideas. When you trip over love, it is easy to get up. But when you fall in love, it is impossible to stand again.
We have no right to just stand by and watch them tarnish our tomorrow.
Only he who has no use for the empire is fit to be entrusted with it.
It is not that I am mad. It is only that my head is different from yours. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. Have patience. All things are difficult before they become easy.
I believe in spectacles, but I think eyes necessary too. Light in your mind is better than darkness in your soul.
We all have stories we tell ourselves until we believe them to be true.
Time bows to authentic commitment, and it stretches to accommodate it. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters.
My mission in life is not merely to survive, to thrive. In short, philosophical theories are largely the product of the hidden hand of the cognitive unconscious. The most important day in your life is the day when you come to realize who you really are. Life is like an elevator. On your way up, sometimes you have to stop and let some people off. Success is doing what you want to do, when you want, where you want, with whom you want, as much as you want.
The man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't are both right.
To be even-minded is the greatest virtue. Wisdom is to speak the truth and act in keeping with its nature. Very occasionally, we pay really close attention. Life doesn't suck. Everyone makes a mistake. Type of mistake gives the perspective of seriousness. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. The simple step of a courageous individual is not to take part in the lie. One word of truth outweighs the world. Treat everyone with politeness and kindness, not because they are nice, but because you are.
Cleverness isn't always true, nor is the truth always clever.
You should expect mistakes in your life. Mistakes are expected, inspected, and respected. On marriage, you sort of stumble along and reconnect and lose each other and reconnect again. If you've got the truth, you can demonstrate it. Talking doesn't prove it. Believe in sudden shifts in life. You never know what is coming for you. You owe no one explanation of what you do, especially those who ask not to help but to judge you. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Your past battles are part of your story. It is a powerful testimony that will inspire others. A lie can travel halfway around the world, while the truth is putting on its shoes. It is a fool's prerogative to utter truths that no one else will speak. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dreams that you wish will come true. It's against the rules of humanity to believe there is nothing we can do. We strive for harmony, but it is not always realized. Do not lose yourself in the crowd. You are the only one you've got. Take care of your soul. There are two ways to live a life: either forget everything or remember nothing.
Even if you are on the right track, but just sit there, you will still get run over. He who steals a belt buckle pays with his life. He who steals a state gets to be a feudal lord. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too.
Wanting to be someone else is a waste of who you are. Every time you help someone to achieve success, you become more successful. Always help to lift the burdens of others. Imagine no limitations. Decide what's right and desirable before you decide what's possible.
Small good decisions will lead you to the glorious path of success.
For every good reason there is to lie, there is a better reason to tell the truth.
As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters.
Anything that doesn't take years of your life and drive you to suicide hardly seems worth doing.
Never get bitter. Life is a medley of good and bad ingredients.
We hunt the flame, the light in the darkness, the good this world deserves. Sometimes letting go is simply changing the labels you place on an event. Looking at the same event with fresh eyes. It means you're perfect just the way you are. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise.
Without local guides, your enemy employs the land as a weapon against you. Try not to become a man of success. Rather become a man of value. Feeling guilty does not set us free. Being equipped sets us free.
Possibilities are endless as long as you don't limit yourself.
I believe in looking reality straight in the eye and denying it.
Through synergy of intellect, artistry, and grace came into existence the blessing of a dancer. I will be able to forecast which side will be victorious and which defeated. If people make fun of you, that probably means you're doing something right. If life gives you any trouble, punch it in the face.
You are never alone. You are eternally connected with everyone.
I guess sometimes you have to lie to find the truth. Your own positive future begins in this moment. All you have is right now. Every goal is possible from here. Don't waste your time in anger, regrets, worries, and grudges. Life is too short to be unhappy. A hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself.
Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Healthy citizens are the greatest asset any country can have.
You cannot change anyone, but you can be the reason someone changes. Because sometimes things happen to people, and they're not equipped to deal with them. If someone does not want me, it is not the end of the world. But if I do not want me, the world is nothing but endings. I failed to communicate. That's why I chose to leave.
The snow goose need not bathe to make itself white. Neither need you do anything but be yourself.
When the thunderclap comes, there is no time to cover the ears. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane.
So the important thing in a military operation is victory, not persistence.
In matters of style, swim with the current. In matters of principle, stand like a rock. Value experience over possessions, because memories are the real treasures of life. So early in my life, I had learned that if you want something, you had better make some noise. Consistency is the true foundation of trust. Either keep your promises or do not make them. Never compete with someone who has nothing to lose. The wisest are the most annoyed at the loss of time. Anything that smiles often needs to be reminded that the world is a cruel, dark place.
During a conversation, listening is as powerful as loving.
In the future, there will be no female leaders. There will just be leaders.
Your sacred space is where you can find yourself over and over again.
You know me better than you think, and you shall know me better yet. Every luxury must be paid for, and everything is a luxury, starting with being in this world. If we try to measure, now we find it's always gone, has become part of the past. If you ever find yourself in the wrong story, leave. Life moves very fast. It rushes from heaven to hell in a matter of seconds. What good is the warmth of summer without the cold of winter to give it sweetness? No life is a waste, the blue man said. The only time we waste is the time we spend thinking we're alone. If your absence doesn't affect them, your presence never mattered. You can have everything you want if you can put your heart and soul into everything you do. There is nothing deep down inside us except what we have put there ourselves.
Hard work is only a prison sentence when you lack motivation.
The only person who can pull me down is myself, and I'm not going to let myself pull me down anymore. Life equals running, and when we stop running, maybe that's how we'll know life is finally finished. There's a whole category of people who miss out by not allowing themselves to be weird enough. Just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring.
The world is already full of critics. To stand out, be an encourager.
Of all creatures that breathe and move upon the earth, nothing is bred that is weaker than man.
Life is all about becoming a better version of yourself. Most often, you don't own your own mind. You borrow it from society.
Water and air, the two essential fluids on which all life depends, become global garbage cans. Nothing factual that I write or say will be as truthful as my fiction. No one knows your truth but you. If you're secure in yourself, no one and no can touch you. For truth is always strange, stranger than fiction. Time has always been the greatest ally to truth, as time eventually relieves and reveals all. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. Some want to live within the sound of church or chapel bell. I want to run a rescue shop, within a yard of hell. When I explored my deeper mind, I could understand that my life is only an illusion, an apparent reality.
Si no usaba esta vida, entonces la estaba desperdiciando.
Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts.
Victory comes from finding opportunities in problems.
No amount of regretting can change the past, and no amount of worrying can change the future. Hate is nothing when weighed against survival. I believe that words are strong, that they can overwhelm what we fear when fear seems more awful than life is good. To know how much there is to know is the beginning of learning to live.
Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Where you are in a few months depends on what you do today.
Life is too short or too long for me to allow myself the luxury of living it so badly. Not all can believe anything they want to, because not all have the ability to believe. The body is wiser than its inhabitants. The body is the soul. The body is God's messenger. Before I can tell my life what I want to do with it, I must listen to my life telling me who I am.
But you don't have to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. The sidelines may be safer, but life is played on the field.
Having an eye for beauty isn't the same thing as a weakness, except possibly when it comes to you. Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value.
Living never wore one, so much as the effort not to live. Start each day with a positive thought and a grateful heart. Always know the difference between what you're getting and what you deserve. People who fit don't seek. The seekers are those that don't fit.
The reason why the universe is eternal is that it does not live for itself. It gives life to others as it transforms.
People throw stones at you, and you convert them into milestones.
You have to be transparent, so you no longer cast a shadow, but instead let the light pass through you.
A life fueled by passions is like riding on the back of a dragon.
If you can convince people that freedom is injustice, they will then believe that slavery is freedom.
A battering ram can knock down a city wall, but it cannot stop a hole. Different things have different uses.
There is no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. The only part of you that hurts when you're given the truth is the part that lives on lies.
He who doesn't understand history is doomed to repeat it.
If you're reading this, congratulations, you're alive. If that's not something to smile about, then I don't know what is. Don't let anyone know what you're doing until it's done. Life's like a painter's palette. Just when you've got everything worked out, the colors change. Human life is but a series of footnotes to a vast, obscure, unfinished masterpiece. I'm not going to limit myself just because people won't accept the fact that I can do something else. I cannot teach anybody anything. I can only make them think.
Our ability to adapt is amazing. Our ability to change isn't quite as spectacular.
Respect and take care of the people. It's for the people. In return, you get respect from the people.
Knowledge is responsibility, which is why people resist knowledge.
Money gives you freedom. Freedom gives you happiness. Sometimes what seems like a destination is actually a bridge to a new chapter.
The essence of technology is by no means anything technological.
Faith and reason are like two wings of the human spirit by which it soars to the truth.
It does not matter how slowly you go, so long as you do not stop. We are good to others only because we think that that is or will be good for us.
Life might take you down different roads, but each of you gets to decide which one to take.
Ability will never catch up with the demand for it.
You start by writing to live. You end by writing so as not to die. The beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you. The bird of paradise alights only upon the hand that does not grasp. Don't give up on yourself. There's a reason why you started. It was not the feeling of completeness I so needed, but the feeling of not being empty. The right way is always the difficult way, but it's the only way that connects us with our soul. I found out that there weren't too many limitations if I did it my way.
If you fuel your journey on the opinions of others, you are going to run out of gas. When the enemy is relaxed, make them toil. When full, starve them. When settled, make them move.